Naram Chaitanyarotamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Dojayam Mudiraye Nasta Prayesu Avadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, this is the 4th canto, chapter 25. The title of the chapter is called Characteristics of King Purañjana, and this morning, text number 38.
Aji Pujyapat Bhakti Maharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Chaturtha Skanda Paschavimsha Adhyaya Shloka number 38 जहाँ पुरंजना चरित वर्णना शीर्षक अध्याय के तार आलोचना କରିବାକୁ ଯାଉଛନ୍ତି।
Please respond to Sanskrit. Kam Tvat amnyam Ramaye He Aratigam Artigam Akovidham Asamparaya Abhimukham Asastana Vidam Pasum Kamno Todanyam Ramaye Eyaratyam Makovidam Asamparaya Bhimukham Asastana Vidam Pasum Kamno Todanayam Ramaye Eyaratyam Makovidam Asamparaya Bhimukham Asastana Vidam Pasum Any ladies want to read? Fantasies? Okay, what meanings? Come unto whom? Nu, then. Toward, then you. Anyam, other. Ramaye, I shall allow to enjoy. Is certainly. Aratijam, without knowledge of sex enjoyment. Akovidam, therefore almost foolish. Asamparaya, without knowledge of the next life. Abhimukam, looking forward. Asastana vidam, one who does not know what is happening next. Pasum, like animals. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. How can I expect to unite with others who are neither conversant about sex nor capable of knowing how to enjoy life while living or after death? Thus, Buddhist persons are like animals because they do not know the process of sense enjoyment in this life and after that. Purport, since there are 8,400,000 species of life, there are also many different living conditions. In the lower grades of life, in plant and tree life, there is no system for sexual intercourse. In the upper grades, in the life of birds and bees, there is sex, but the insects and animals do not know how to actually enjoy sex life. In the human form of life, however, there is full knowledge of how to enjoy sex. Indeed, there are many so-called philosophers who give directions on how to enjoy sex life. There is even a science called the Kama Sutra, Kama Sastra, which is the science of sex. In human life, there are also such divisions as Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. There is no sex life except in a Grihastha or householder ashramam. The Brahmachari is not allowed any sex. A Vanaprastha voluntarily refrains from sex, and a sannyasi is completely renounced. The karmis do not practice Brahmacharya, Vanaprastha or sannyas life, for they are very much interested in Grihastha life. In other words, a human being is very much materially inclined. Indeed, all living entities are materially inclined. They prefer Grihastha life because there is a concession for sex. The karmis think the other statuses of life are worse than animal life, for animals also have sex, whereas the brahmachari, vanaprastha and the sannyasi completely give up sex. The karmis therefore abhor these orders of spiritual life.
अर्थात पक्षी व मक्षिकादि योनिरे यौन क्रिया अछि किंतु कीट पतंग व पशु योनिरे जीव जाने नाही किपरि यौन उपभोग करिबाकु हुए किंतु मानव योनिरे जीवर यौन उपभोगर पूर्ण ज्ञान अछि वास्तविक एपरि केतेक तथाकथित दार्शनिक अछन्ति जेउमाने यौन उपभोग संबंधरे किछि उपदेश और निर्देश दियन्ति कामशास्त्र नामक एक यौन विज्ञान पुस्तक अछि एथिरे यौन विज्ञान कथा लेखा अछि मानव समाज रे आश्रम विभाग अछि तथा ब्रह्मचर्य गृहस्थ वानप्रस्थ और सन्यास आश्रम ये चारि आश्रम मध्यरो केवल गृहस्थ आश्रम रे यौन जीवनर कथा अछि अन्य आश्रम रे नाही ब्रह्मचर्य आश्रम रे आत्म यौन क्रियार कथा नाही वानप्रस्थ आश्रम रे व्यक्ति स्वतः प्रकृत हुए यौन क्रियारो निवृत्त हुए एवं सन्यासी संपूर्ण रूपे एहाको त्याग करिथाए कर्मिगण ब्रह्मचर्य वानप्रस्थ और सन्यास जीवन धारा ग्रहण करती नाही कारण सेमाने केवल गृहस्थ जीवन धारा प्रति आग्रही होइथांती अन्य कथारे एहा कुहा जाई पारे जे एक मानव अत्यधिक परिमाण रे प्रकृति मार्ग प्रति आकृष्ट होइथाए अर्थात भौतिक उपभोग प्रति अधिक आग्रह प्रकाश करिथाए वास्तविक समस्त जीव भौतिकता प्रति आसक्त होइथांती सेमाने गृहस्थ जीवन को पसंद करती कारण सेथिरे यौन उपभोग को अनुमति दिया जाई अछि कर्मीगण भावन्ति अन्य आश्रम जीवन पशु जीवन ठारू हीन कारण पशु जीवन रे मध्य यौन क्रिया अछि किंतु ब्रह्मचारी वानप्रस्थ और सन्यासीगण संपूर्ण रूपे यौन क्रिया को त्याग करिथांते सेथिपाई कर्मीगण ए आश्रम जीवन को घृणा करन्ति
So, in this chapter, called Characteristics of King Purañjana, first of all, this is a dialogue between Maitreya Muni and the Vidura. So, in this dialogue, so they brought a story. Story was between Narada Muni and King Purañjana-upākhyāna.
आलोचना करुछन्ते जहाके नारद मुनि राजा प्राचीन परिषद निकटरे उपस्थापन करिछन्ते.
So here this King Purañjana is a allegorical figure. It is a just for illustration about the situations in this material world. So the story of King Purañjana is presented as called allegory.
राजा पुरंजन को उपाख्यान जहाँ कहा जाउछि ताहा तो प्रतीक गल्प अटे.
So in this, the dialogue is such that you can see the whole picture of this material life, material world.
এই কথাবার্তারে আমি মানে পরিষ্কার ভাবে এই ভৌতিক জীবনর সমস্ত বিষয় জানি পারিবা.
So when one is not interested in spiritual life,
जने काहेकि परमात्मिक जीवन प्रति आग्रही नुहे,
so such individuals will be attracted 100% to enjoy these material senses.
ଏହି स्वतंत्र व्यक्ति शतकड़ा सहेबाग भौतिक उपभोग प्रति आकृष्ट होती.
So in enjoying the material senses, scriptures say that the union or say the sex life is the highlight of this material life.
भौतिक जीवन को उपभोग କରିବା संबंधରେ शास्त्र कहନ୍ତି जे ଏହି इंद्रिय उपभोग ही ଏହି जीवनର परम ଏବଂ ଚରମ ଲକ୍ଷ୍ୟ ଅଟେ.
So you can see that all forms of life, like insects, the birds, the animals, all these living beings in this planet, in this world, even the lower forms of life, they have this capacity to have this sex life.
ତେଣୁ ଏହି ଜଗତରେ पशु पक्षी कृमि कीट एवं समस्त इतर जोनिरे एही इंद्रिय उपभोग कामना बलवत्तर रहिछि एवं समस्त इंद्रिय उपभोगरे व्यस्त।
So when one becomes so much attracted to this type of life, then they are not, when he or she is not interested in developing spiritual life.
तेनु जणे काहीकि ए प्रकार जीवन धारा प्रति आकृष्ट होई एक परमार्थिक मार्गको ग्रहण करिया पई इच्छुक नुहे।
So therefore, Narada Muni wanted to emphasize this point so that those who are intelligent can get lessons, instructions from this story, Purañjana story.
तेनु नारद मुनि एही उपाख्यान उपरे गुरुत्व आरोप करछन्ति जद्वारा जे एही पुरंजन उपाख्यान श्रवण करिबो एथिर से उपयुक्त शिक्षा लाभ करि परियो।
So this is a statement by a beautiful girl to King Purañjana about the situation of the different forms of life.
तेनु एठारे एही उपाख्यान राजा पुरंजनकर एक नारी प्रति जे मंतव्य जीवनर विभिन्न अवस्था संबंधरे ताहा वर्णना करा दैछि।
So this beautiful girl says in the previous shloka that this body is a made up of 9 gates. It is a city. A city is compared like a city of 9 gates. There are 9 gates in this city, in this body.
सेही सुंदरी नारीटी पूर्ववर्ती श्लोकरे कहउछन्ते जे शरीररे यहाँ एक शहर अटे एवं यहाँ 9 द्वार अछि।
So therefore, in the human form of life, unless one has at least some basic knowledge of spiritual life, then this most important, this life would be wasted.
तेणु एही दुर्लभ मानव जन्मरे जनकर जदि एही परमार्थिक ज्ञान संबंधी सामान्य ज्ञान नाही ताहाले ताहारे एही दुर्लभ जन्म निरर्थक अटे।
So therefore, these 9 gates, the city of 9 gates, so the intelligent people should enlighten these 9 gates with knowledge.
तेणु एही जो शहरर 9 द्वार कथा कहगला जे प्रकृत बुद्धिमान लोक से ए विषय रे जिज्ञासा करिबो जे 9 द्वार कोन अटे।
So for example, these 2 eyes, these 2 gates, so these eyes should be engaged for going to the temple, having darshan of Sri Sri Krishna Balaram, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani, and Sri Sri Gauranitai and the Prabhupada.
तेणु आमे जो चक्षुदेव प्राप्त होइछे या मध्ये दुईटी द्वार अटे जद्वारा आमे मंदिर को आसी श्री श्री गौरनिताय कृष्ण बलराम जगन्नाथ बलभद्र सुभद्रा देवी एवं श्रील प्रभुपादଙ୍କର विग्रहକୁ दर्शन କରିବା।
Like the other 2 gates, these ears, the ear holes, these 2 gates, so they should be engaged for hearing the beautiful kirtan, the Hari Kirtan. Well then, the gate called, the genitals, so these gates should be engaged. Those who are in the Grihastha ashram be engaged for producing beautiful Krishna conscious babies, children, not otherwise. So therefore, this indirectly gives very much instruction to the Grihastha ashram, to the household life, how one should organize one's household life. So our devotees come, the young devotees come, they become brahmacharis for some time, and after some time they become attracted to change their ashram into household life. So we have to therefore think very carefully, is it worthwhile to enter into the Grihastha ashram and try to get entangled. So you have to think, meditate very carefully.
ତେଣୁ ଆମେ ଅତି ଗୁରୁତର ସହିତ ଏହା ଉପରେ ଧ୍ୟାନ ଦେବା ଉଚିତ ଯେ ସେ ପ୍ରକୃତ ପକ୍ଷେ ଏହି ଗୃହସ୍ଥ ଆଶ୍ରମରେ ପ୍ରବେଶ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଯୋଗ୍ୟ ଅଟେ କି ନାହିଁ ଏ ବିଷୟରେ ଗୁରୁତର ଭାବେ ବିଚାର କରି କିଛି ପଦକ୍ଷେପ ଗ୍ରହଣ କରାଯିବା ଉଚିତ।
So unless it is absolutely necessary, therefore it is always better to remain as in the brahmacharya ashram. Unless it is something like absolutely necessary, you have
ଅତ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଭାବରେ ଆବଶ୍ୟକ ନୁହେଁ ତାହେଲେ ଜଣେ ଗୃହସ୍ଥ ଆଶ୍ରମରେ ପ୍ରବେଶ ନ କରି ସାରା ଜୀବନ ବ୍ରହ୍ମଚାରୀ ରହିବା ଉଚିତ।
because once you enter into grihastha ashram, you know what happens. You know that you become lethargic in devotional life and it's slowly going back. So therefore, it's not worth it. So you have to, therefore, before entering to the ashram, grihastha ashram, you have to think 1,000 times whether it's worth it.
ତେଣୁ ଗୃହସ୍ଥ ଆଶ୍ରମରେ ଜଣେ ପ୍ରବେଶ କରିବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ 1000 ଥର ଚିନ୍ତା କରିବା ଉଚିତ ଯେ ସେ କାହିଁକି ଗୃହସ୍ଥ ଆଶ୍ରମରେ ପ୍ରବେଶ କରିବ। ଯଦି ଗୃହସ୍ଥ ଆଶ୍ରମରେ ଜଣେ ପ୍ରବେଶ କରେ ସେ କ୍ରମଶଃ ତାର ଭକ୍ତି ଯୋଗ ମାର୍ଗରୁ ସେ ବିଚ୍ୟୁତ ହୁଏ। ଏଥିପ୍ରତି ସେ ସାବଧାନ ରହିବା ଉଚିତ।
Of course, the scriptures allow this ashram, the grihastha ashram. We are not against grihastha ashram because this is there in the grihastha ashram. But in the age of Kali, we have to think very seriously.
ଅବଶ୍ୟ ଶାସ୍ତ୍ରରେ ଗୃହସ୍ଥ ଆଶ୍ରମ କଥା କୁହାଯାଇଅଛି। ଆମେ ଗୃହସ୍ଥ ଆଶ୍ରମକୁ ନିରାଶ କରୁନାହୁଁ। ଶାସ୍ତ୍ରରେ ଗୃହସ୍ଥ ଆଶ୍ରମ ସମ୍ବନ୍ଧୀୟ କଥା କୁହାଯାଇଅଛି। କିନ୍ତୁ କଳି ଯୁଗରେ ଜଣେ ଗୃହସ୍ଥ ହେବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଅଧିକ ଭାବରେ ଏ ବିଷୟରେ ଚିନ୍ତା କରିବା ଉଚିତ।
So our Bhakti Prabhupada was a Naistiki brahmachari.
ଆମର ଭକ୍ତି ସିଦ୍ଧାନ୍ତ ସରସ୍ୱତୀ ଗୋସ୍ୱାମୀ ପ୍ରଭୁପାଦ ଜୀ ମହାରାଜ ଜଣେ ନୈଷ୍ଠିକ ବ୍ରହ୍ମଚାରୀ ଥିଲେ।
But our Guru Maharaj Prabhupada said, if you can produce children like Bhakti Prabhupada, children like him, if you can produce in the grihastha ashram, you can have thousands of wives.
ତେଣୁ ପୂଜ୍ୟପାଦ ଶିବାଜୀ ମହାରାଜ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଯେ ତାଙ୍କର ଗୁରୁପାଦ ପଦ୍ମ ପ୍ରଭୁପାଦ ଜୀ ମହାରାଜ କହୁଥିଲେ ଯଦି ତୁମେମାନେ ଭକ୍ତି ସିଦ୍ଧାନ୍ତଙ୍କ ପରି ଏକ ନୈଷ୍ଠିକ ବ୍ରହ୍ମଚାରୀକୁ ଜନ୍ମ ଦେଇପାରିବ ତାହେଲେ ତୁମେ 1000 ପତ୍ନୀ ଗ୍ରହଣ କଲେ ସେଥିରେ କିଛି ଆପତ୍ତି ନାହିଁ।
But it's not very easy to maintain a very strong spiritual life when one enters in, unless you become very saintly in your quality. Just like Bhakti Thakur, he had how many sons? 12? 14 sons. And so among them, Bhakti Prabhupada. So in this way, he was very saintly, and so therefore Krishna sent so many wonderful children today to such a great personality. But you see, we have to be extremely, individually, we have to consult, the senior, say, Vaishnavas, sadhus, and if you have a young devotee, sometimes some the temptations of the senses will come, but you have to consult with the seniors, and we have to plan very properly.
वरिष्ठ भक्त मानको ए विषयरे परामर्श କରିବା ଉଚିତ ଏବଂ ଅତି ଯତ୍ନର ସହିତ ଏଥିରେ କିଛି ପଦକ୍ଷେପ ଗ୍ରହଣ କରିବା ଉଚିତ।
So I will tell you one story with what Prabhupada. When I was with Prabhupada in Los Angeles, early in the morning, once I went to his room in Los Angeles, in America. So all of a sudden, Prabhupada was alone, and he was in the translation desk, and so he asked me, do you want to get married?
महाराज को पचारिले तुमे कोन विवाह करबा को इच्छा करूछ कि?
So I was surprised because I didn't expect that Prabhupada will going to ask me like that because
महाराज आश्चर्य हेले जे प्रभुपाद अर्थात तांको ए प्रकार एक प्रश्न पचारिथिले.
so that I was still silent and then later on and after a little while I answered to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I will think about it.
महाराज किछि समय नीरव रहिले एवं तत्पर प्रभुपाद जी को कहिथिले मो एथिपाई किछि समय नउछि एवं या परे आपनको जणाइबी.
When Prabhupada said, well, we have so many nice devotee girls in Los Angeles, in New Dwarka temple, because if you select anyone, I will get you married.
महाराज कहउछन्ते प्रभुपाद जी महाराज तन कहिले हमर लॉस एंजलिस मंदिर र न्यू द्वारका मंदिर रे अनेक सुंदर युवती कन्या अछन्ते तुमे जहां को इच्छा करिबो मो तुम सहित तांकर विवाह कराई देबी.
So it was, I never expected that will happen like that.
महाराज आप तो आशा करिनथिले जे एपरि एक घटना किछि घटिबो.
So anyway, I didn't answer anything, and then we changed the subject into different about because Prabhupada usually talks to me about how to preach, how to make science preaching. He always talks like that.
या परे अधिक किछि उत्तर महाराज देई नथिले ते सेमानकर आलोचनार विषय वस्तु बदल जायतिला एवं प्रभुपाद जी महाराज श्रीपाद जी महाराज को विज्ञान समस्त प्रचार संबंधी किछि आलोचना करथिले.
Then Prabhupada said, well, please you think about it and you let me know.
तापरे प्रभुपाद जी महाराज कहिथिले तुमे ए विषय रे चिंता करिबो एवं मते परे जणाइबो.
So the next day, the following day, when I went again to Prabhupada, and so Prabhupada asked me again, so how have you decided? So I didn't answer quickly. I was just remained a little bit quiet or something like a little bit shy and things like that. Then Prabhupada said, well, if you can remain as a brahmachari, if you can remain as without getting married, that is the best. So later on I found out that maybe Prabhupada was testing. That how my mind is working. So he wanted to find out how my mind is directing. So these things are there. Of course, these are very, very personal in the sense that according to your guna karma, that because Lord Krishna has arranged for all of us, Chatur Varnang Maya system, Gunakarma Vibhaks. So these ashramas are arranged. So therefore, if one follows the discipline of the ashram, then it is all Krishna's arrangement.
विभिन्न आश्रम विभाग करा जाय अछि त सेति पई आमे एहाको शृंखलार सहित पालन करिबा उचित.
But I see that when our devotees, I've been saying for the last more than 30 years, that when you enter into the Grihastha ashram, there is a dramatic change in the life of a devotee. I mean, we are seeing it for the last so many years.
प्रवेश करूछन्ते सेमानंकर एक नाटकीय परिवर्तन घटुछि ता तांकर व्यक्तिगत अनुभूति अटे.
So therefore, it is better to plan very properly.
तेणु पूज्यपाद महाराज अनुरोध करूछन्ते आमे अति उपयुक्त भाबरे ए विषय रे योजना करिबा उचित.
So this is my observation those who are working devotees, just like we have many working devotees who work outside, who live outside, and who are also practicing Krishna consciousness. For them, it is okay to have a nice grihastha life.
ଲକ୍ଷ୍ୟ ଯେ ଯେଉଁମାନେ ବାହାରେ କାମ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ବା ସେମାନଙ୍କର କିଛି ଜୀବିକା ଉପାର୍ଜନର ବ୍ୟବସ୍ଥା ଅଛି ସେମାନେ ଏହାକୁ ଗ୍ରହଣ କରିପାରନ୍ତି.
So they can have nice Krishna conscious children, they can have a nice job, and then they can donate part of their income for helping the Krishna conscious mentioned the temples, helping the temples, and the brahmacharis who are staying in the temple. So that way, it is quite just like in Chowpatty temple. It's like that. The Chowpatty temple, all the brahmacharis, they don't work anything. I mean, they don't collect because they have some rich grihastha people who are helping them. So therefore, it is the life is very, very well kept in the Krishna consciousness.
महाराज कहते जे सेमाने कृष्ण चैतन्य संतान उत्पन्न करिबा संगे संगे विभिन्न प्रकार धर्मलोक कार्य नियुक्त रहिबे एवं सेमानंदर आयर किछि अंश मंदिर को दान करिबे जद्वारा भक्त माने तद्वारा कर्मार्थिक जीवन यापन करि परिबे सेति पय उदाहरण दे कहउछन्ते जे चौपाटी इस्कन मंदिर रे जो माने बाहर गृहस्थ माने रहउछन्ते सेमाने मंदिर को दान करूछन्ते एवं से मंदिर ब्रह्मचारी माने बाहर को जाई किछ अर्थ संग्रह करती नाही से माने केवल साधन भजन रे नियुक्त रहउछन्ति.
So in this way, but those who are staying in a temple as let's say coming as brahmacharis, so I think in order to remain as very stable brahmachari life, because in ashram life, in a temple, really, it is now, we don't have facilities for maintaining grihastha ashrams, although there are some special devotees there, but in general, this is my observation, that those who are in the temple, so it is better those coming as brahmacharis, it is better to remain as brahmacharis and try to maintain that brahmachari life by praying for the blessings of the Vaishnavas, by praying for the blessings of Krishna Balaram. So in this way, life becomes very simple and you can make rapid progress in the journey of Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, Maharaj निर्दिष्ट भाव में एक ऑब्जर्वेशन जे मंदिर रे जे माने ब्रह्मचारी रहउछन्ते से माने निष्ठापूर्ण भाव रे ब्रह्मचर्य पालन करी रहिबा उचित. विशेष भाव रे मंदिर रे जे माने गृहस्थ रहिबे से मानको किछ अर्थ दबार से प्रकार व्यवस्था नाही ता से प्रकार आय मध्य नाही. तेणु समस्ते जे माने मंदिर रे रहउछन्ते से माने ब्रह्मचारी रहिबा महाराजଙ୍କର व्यक्तिगत मतामत अटे.
And for our girl devotees, the ladies, the girls, brahmacharini girls who come and want to surrender to Krishna, for them, of course, they have to be married. They have to be married so that they can practice Krishna consciousness with their husbands at home. Because we have so many devotees outside, say for example, the engineering boys, these medical boys, or some people who are doing some business. So they also need to have a Krishna conscious wife. So therefore, these things can be arranged. So that once they do that, then our Krishna consciousness will be expanded, and the children are born in those families. So they will be our great assets because they are all devoted children. So in this grihastha ashrams is well organized. Suppose if you have two children, two sons are born. So one son you give it to the temple as to become lifelong brahmachari. One son you keep, so that this son will look after when you become old. And of course when you become all up to after 60 years old, if you want to take Vanaprastha and become a sannyasi to preach, then the responsibility can be given to one of the sons, generally the elder sons, should be kept there. So in this way, if we can organize, then our Krishna consciousness will flourish in a very big scale.
महाराज से तांकर मतामत हेउछन्ते जे विशेष करी माने गृहस्थ हेउछन्ते तांकर दुईटी संतान अछन्ते पुत्र अछन्ते तांकर कनिष्ठ पुत्रटी को सेमाने मंदिर रे ब्रह्मचारी रे रहिबा पई दान करिबा उचित जे कि समाज रे एक कृष्ण चेतना प्रचार दिगरे एक कृष्ण चेतना आंदोलन रे सहायता करिबो एवं ज्येष्ठ पुत्र को सेमाने पाखरे रखिबा उचित जे कि वृद्ध अवस्था रे तानंकर भरण पोषण दायित्व वहन करिब एवं जेतेबेले व्यक्ति सन्यास बा वानप्रस्थ आश्रम में प्रवेश करिब सेतेबेले ज्येष्ठ पुत्र परिवार समस्त दायित्व वहन करिब एही परि भाबरे समाज रे एक सुशृंखलित गृहस्थ जीवन आरंभ हेबो.
So therefore, my appeal to our brahmacharis here in the temple is that you cannot get married without being properly screened or properly examined whether you can maintain this life or you will be in trouble. So without getting the proper permission from the temple leaders, without being understanding what you will be, so I think it is better not to get married, not to think about entering. You should discuss very properly, and when there is a good judgment on the part of the leaders, only at that point we'll make a decision.
महाराज जी मंदिर रा ब्रह्मचारी मानन को प्रत्यक्ष भाव रे निर्देश देउछन्ते जे सेमाने एही गृहस्थ आश्रम रे प्रवेश करिया पई चिंता करिबा पूर्वरो वरिष्ठ भक्त मानन सहित ए विषय रे परामर्श करिबा उचित एवं विशेष भाव रे सेमाने एही आश्रम रे अति सहज रे किपरि परिवार पोषण करि पारिबे से विषय मध्य किपरि सेमाने स्थिर करिसन्ते से विषय रे जानिबा परे मंदिर रा कर्मकर्ता वृंद बा वरिष्ठ भक्त माने ए विषय रे निष्पत्ति नेबे जद्वारा सेमानकर गृहस्थ जीवन रे कोनोसी असुविधा हेबो नाही. तने सेति पई महाराज जी कहउचन्ती जे मंदिर रा ब्रह्मचारी माने सदा सर्वदा ब्रह्मचर्य पालन करी ए ब्रह्मचर्य आश्रम रे रहिबा उचित. कोनोसी तरबरिया निष्पत्ति बा सेमानकर निज इच्छा अनुसार किछि कार्यक्रम करिबा उचित नुहे.
That means we have to organize one examination test so that we'll conduct at some point, we'll have a nice test examination. Then we will see where you are and whether you are qualified to remain as brahmachari or whether you are thinking something else. So we'll have a test. And so this test, then those who, then we'll see who passed the test or who fails the test. So from there, we'll take it up.
एतिपय महाराज एक प्रस्ताव देउछन्ती जे आमे एक परीक्षार व्यवस्था करिबा एवं भक्त माने एही परीक्षा रे उत्तीर्ण हेउछन्ती पातिरे अकृत कार्य हेउछन्ती ताहाकु देखि आमे परवर्ती व्यवस्था करिबा. तेनु एतिपय एक परीक्षार आवश्यकता अछि जद्वारा समस्ते ए परीक्षा रे प्रवेश करिबा परे जणा पडिबो जे से ब्रह्मचर्य आश्रम रे रहिबा योग्य अटे बा तार अन्य किछि अभिलाष अछि जद्वारा से गृहस्थ आश्रम को जिबा पई चाहुची. याकु देखिबा परे ए परीक्षार फलाफल जणा पडिबा परे जा किछि व्यवस्था ग्रहण करा जिवो.
So therefore, the whole conclusion of this dialogue about this story of Purañjana is that this human form of life is given by the mercy of the Lord, and it is a platform for preparation for making progress in spiritual life. And this human form of life, we are staying in the city of 9 gates. This human body is regarded as a city of 9 gates. So in this human form of life, that the difference between this human form of life and other forms of life is that we can prepare, we can plan how to get out of this entanglement in this material world. That preparation is available only in the human form of life.
ମାନବ ଶରୀରର ରୂପକ ନଗରରୁ କିପରି ବାହାରି ଯାଇ ଆମର ଏହି ପରମାର୍ଥ ମାର୍ଗରେ ଅଗ୍ରଗତି କରିବା ସେ ବିଷୟରେ ଆମେ କିଛି ଯୋଜନା ପ୍ରସ୍ତୁତ କରିବା ଏବଂ ଅନୁରୂପ ଭାବରେ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ କରିବା.
So in this preparation, therefore, in Krishna, in the Bhagavad Gita, so Krishna has arranged these 4 ashramas: Brahmacharya ashram, then Grihastha ashram, the Vanaprastha ashram, and the Sannyasa ashram. So in these 4 ashramas, you see only this is 25% of one's life is allowed to remain in the Grihastha ashram. So if one wants to, one can also skip that. It's not compulsory, but so in these ashramas, say to remain as celibate, as brahmachari. So therefore, the emphasis is given how to remain as brahmachari in the shastra.
ब्रह्मचर्य गृहस्थ बानप्रस्थ सन्यास एवं ये 4 आश्रम मध्यरे आमे देखि परिबा जे शतकड़ा 25 भाग हमको इंद्रिय उपभोग सुयोग दिया जाय छै किंतु अधिकांश भाग हमको वैराग्य आचरण करिवा पई शिक्षा दिया जाउ छै जद्वारा आमे ए परमार्थिक जीवन रे अग्रगति करिवा पई समस्त प्रकार प्रचेष्टा करि परिबा तेन वैराग्य उपरे अधिक गुरुत्व आरोप करा जाय छै एही आश्रम विभाग जरिया.
Our Prabhupada also used to say that our Grihastha devotees for our household life, they are also called Grihastha Brahmacharis.
Prabhupada Maharaj ei Grihastha jivana sambandhare Grihastha manako bishayare kahichanti semane Grihastha Brahmachari atanti. Grihastha
Brahmachari means, so you have a child, and the child is only, you have this union between the husband and the wife, but only to produce this Krishna conscious child, and not outside that. Therefore, if you maintain that culture, this is called you are a Grihastha Brahmachari.
Grihastha Brahmachari sambandhare Maharaj ji kahuchanti je pati o patni ubhaye milita hebe samaj ko ek upajukta Krishna chetanashila santan pradhan kariba pai ebong anya samare semane sanjamata rakha karibe ei sanjamata acharan purna jivana ko.
But we have to remember that ashram, the word ashram is extremely important. So ashram, because the animal life is not called ashram. See, animal also has family, but in human form of life, it's called ashram. Ashram means disciplined life. That is called ashram.
मानव जीवनर परिवार को आश्रम कहा जाए कारण यह एक शृंखलित जीवन यापन अटे.
And in the spiritual life, so there's a discipline, a well-disciplined life is the foundation of how to make progress in the spiritual life. If you are not disciplined, then you will not make progress properly.
परमार्थिक जीवन रे एक प्रकार शृंखलित जीवन यापन एक दृढ़ भूमि अटे जहा द्वारा आमे परमार्थिक मार्ग रे अग्रगति करि परिबा.
So in the Shastra, why this disciplined life is emphasized is that unless you are disciplined, that you will never be able to do something very seriously.
शास्त्र रे ए शृंखलित जीवन यापन करे गुरुत्व दिया जाय अछि काहे के ना यहा न गले आमे हमर प्रकृत लक्ष्य पथरे गंभीरतार सहित अग्रगति करि परिबा नाही.
That's like, in our Krishna conscious culture, it said, oh, we should follow for regulative principles, and then we should chant 16 rounds a day, and we should follow the instructions of the spiritual master, and so these are disciplines. So once we follow these disciplines, then step by step we make progress.
षोलमाला हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र कीर्तन करबा को हेबो एवं आध्यात्मिक गुरुकर आदेश पालन करबा को पड़िबो जद्वारा हमें क्रमशः धीरे धीरे ए परमार्थिक मार्ग रे अग्रगति करि परिबा.
So we have to therefore always remember that the discipline, so this discipline, I have to maintain this discipline. This is for my own benefit, so it is called self-discipline. When somebody says, your senior says, well, my dear, such and such, you follow these 4 principles. No meat eating, no intoxicants, no gambling, no improper, no relationship with the boys and the girls outside marriage. So we say that, so this is described in the Shastra.
तेणु ए जो श्रृंखला विषय कहा जाउची ଏହା ଆମର ବ୍ୟକ୍ତିଗତ ପରମାର୍ଥିକ ଉନ୍ନତି ନିମିତ୍ତ ଉଦ୍ଦିଷ୍ଟ. ତେଣୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମର କୌଣସି ବରିଷ୍ଠ ଭକ୍ତ ଆମକୁ ଏ ବିଷୟରେ ସୂଚନା ବା ଉପଦେଶ ପ୍ରଦାନ କରନ୍ତି ଯେ ଏହା କର ନାହିଁ ଏ ସମସ୍ତ ସାଧନ ବିଧି ପାଳନ କର ଏହା ଆମର ପରମାର୍ଥିକ ଉନ୍ନତି ନିମିତ୍ତ ହିଁ ଉଦ୍ଦିଷ୍ଟ.
So this makes the human form of life very special because these we can follow these disciplines, but not the birds and the animals. So they don't have any discipline. Whatever they want, they do it. Only, of course, they have some instinct. But in the human form of life, we can regulate our life, our work, our everything what we do. So this is called a disciplined life.
जे आमे नियंत्रित भावरे जीवन यापन करि परिबा किंतु पशु पक्षी आदि इतर जोनि रे यह संभव नुहे सेति पई मानव जने स्वतंत्र अटे.
So in this way, this story about Purañjana story is actually an instruction how one gets entangled in this material life and how to overcome this entanglement so that one becomes Krishna conscious.
Purañjana विशेष भावरे जणे किपरि भौतिक जीवन सहित जडित बा आसक्त एवं सेतुर किपरि मुक्त हेबा को पड़िबो से विषयर एक उपयुक्त आलोचना अटे.
So therefore we have to get these lessons and apply it in our day-to-day life, in our daily life.
ए उपदेश को ग्रहण करिबा उचित एवं आमर दैनन्दिन जीवन रे याको आचरण करिबा उचित.
Then we will make rapid progress in our humble journey toward making progress in Krishna consciousness.
तेणु आमे आमर ए कृष्ण चेतना मार्ग रे अति शीघ्र बा द्रुत उन्नति करि परिबा.
So since we have next program, so I'd like to conclude here, and I'd like to thank all of you for coming for this Maharaj Vyas Puja celebration. I think we had a wonderful festival. So it's not only celebration. I think we should all make our resolve, means some kind of internal commitment how to help that Maharaj's vision. So Maharaj has a wonderful vision of making the whole Odisha Krishna conscious to help Prabhupada's mission. So you should focus your mind how to help, let's say, Maharaj and the mission, the temple here, and also the projects in Odisha. So you should go with that plan. What can I help? Say for next year, and from now to next year, what I can help in order to help Maharaj's vision.
महाराज जी कहउचंती एहा एक खाली उत्सव नुहे एहा आममानकर अंतरर गोटे गोटे कमिटमेंट अटे जे आमे किपरि महाराज जहाँ लक्ष्य थिला ओडिसा रे सर्वत्र ए कृष्ण चेतना प्रसार करिबा जहाँ प्रभुपादंकर मध्य लक्ष्य थिला ताकु पूर्ण करिबा दिगरे आमे किपरि भाबरे ब्रती होई परिबा एवं आगामी वर्ष गोटे वर्ष मध्य आमे की प्रकार भावरे यहाको सफल करिया पई सहाय्य करिबा सेति पई मध्य आमे माने आम मानक तरफरु स्थिर करिबा उचित. ताहेले महाराजଙ୍କର ଲକ୍ଷ୍ୟ ପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ହେବ ପ୍ରଭୁପାଦଙ୍କର ଇଚ୍ଛା ମଧ୍ୟ ପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ହୋଇ ପାରିବ।
As like you can see that, this the beauty of the Singhasan, the altar where the Krishna Balaram, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra and Gauritai, they are very happy because it increased the beauty of this Singhasan, this altar many times. So such a service is wonderful. So similarly, there are many things like Prabhupada's Vyasasan. This seems like sometimes difficult because of this. I think this needs to be improved. Because when you put a garland, this something is there. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Yeah. So things like that, and you can help in the small little way. Because coming so many, let's say, devotees from around all over Odisha and also other devotees from other parts. So there are many areas. So we should think like that, how to increase, this seva to the Maharaj's planned vision, so that the Prabhupada will be pleased and the Maharaj will be pleased.
कारुकार्य खचित काष्ठ निर्मित सिंहासन बसिबा परे सेमानकर सौंदर्य सहस्त्रबार अधिक वृद्धि प्राप्त होउछि और सेमान मध्ये आनंदित अछंती सेही परि भाबरे आमे प्रभुपाद जी महाराजकर सिंहासन को मध्ये अति उन्नत भाबरे करिबा एही परि भाबरे जा महाराजकर लक्ष्य अछि योजना अछि जा से प्रस्तुत करिसंती ताकु क्रमशः पूर्ण करिबारे सहायता प्रदान करिबा उचित।
Similarly, like we want to have a very wonderful brahmachari ashram, brahmachari building, multi-purpose, like in the property there, and that once, something very well, let's say, preaching, let's say, facilities are there, that we don't even have to go so much outside, but so many thousands of guests will come regularly, and we have to preach, that's like in Bangalore. I saw in Bangalore, like in Delhi. Similarly, Odisha, although financially, but there will be many guests coming from all over India, because Odisha, is a land of temples, and so if we build, design some very nice preaching facilities, then many things will be improved. And so for that, a little help from from many people will be very, very welcome. I appreciate it.
योजना युक्त ब्रह्मचर्य आश्रम तथा उपस्थापन करुछन्ति जहाँ के जेपरि बड़ शहर बेंगलोर दिल्ली आदि रे अछि हमर से प्रकार करा दिवा योजना अछि किंतु जेहेतु ओडिशा एक मंदिर मालिनी देश एवं एठारे अर्थर बहुत आवश्यकता रहिछि अनेक भक्त एते संपृक्त रहिले सेमानकर सामूहिक सहायता रे ए प्रकार एक बहुत योजना संपूर्ण होई परिबो जद्वारा आमे एठारे किछि अतिथिशाला करी बहुत निमंत्रित अतिथि एवं आगंतुक को मध्ये एठारे रहिबार व्यवस्था करि परिबा एवं ब्रह्मचारी माननको आउ विशेष बाहर को जीवा पड़िबो नाही सेमाने एठारे उपयुक्त भाबरे तालीम नेबे एवं यहा एक अति उपयुक्त तालीम केंद्र रे परिणत हेबो।
So in this way, such events where we are gathered in large numbers, so we should all plan and join our hands together in unity so that we can help the vision of Maharaj and the Prabhupada's mission. So in this way, we will get all the blessings.
परस्पर सहित हाथ मिलाई एही कार्यक्रम को सफल कले यहाँ महाराजंकर लक्ष्य साधित करिवो गौरव महाराजंकर लक्ष्य साधित करिवो प्रभुपादंकर लक्ष्य पूर्ण होई पारिवो एवं एही परि भाबरे हमर कृष्ण चेतना आंदोलनर व्यापक प्रचार एवं प्रसार होई पारिवो।
You see that this Maharaj's Smriti Mandir, that it's quite nice. I mean, with these decorations, still some work is to be finished, but it's already looking, very, very nice. So in this way, we can help, in a little way, whatever, that anyone can help. that will be most welcome, and you should always do something like that. And the next year, so each one can bring one more person to invite as your friend, so that come more people, more and more people, and that way you can plan, how to increase this preaching program here in Odisha.
विशेष भाବରେ ଏହି ସ୍ମୃତି ମନ୍ଦିରର ଉଦାହରଣ ଦେଇ ପୂଜ୍ୟପାଦ ମହାରାଜ କହୁଛନ୍ତି, ଏହା ଯେଉଁପରି ଭାବରେ କାରୁକାର୍ଯ୍ୟ ଖଚିତ ହୋଇ ନିର୍ମିତ ହୋଇଛି ତାହାର ସୌନ୍ଦର୍ଯ୍ୟ ଅତୀବ ମନୋରମ ଅଟେ। ଯଦିଓ କିଛି କାର୍ଯ୍ୟ ଅସମ୍ପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ଅଛି, ତଥାପି ଏହା ଏକ ଅତି ଉନ୍ନତ ପ୍ରକଳ୍ପ ଅଟେ। ତେଣୁ ଆମେ ଆସନ୍ତା ବର୍ଷ ଆମମାନଙ୍କ ସହିତ ଜଣେ ଜଣେ ଭକ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ଆଣିବା ଉଚିତ, ଯେଉଁମାନେ କି ଏଥିରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ସହଯୋଗ କରିବେ। ଏହିପରି ଭାବରେ ଆମେ ସମଗ୍ର ଓଡ଼ିଶାରେ ଏହି କୃଷ୍ଣ ଚେତନାର ବାଣୀ ପ୍ରଚାର ପ୍ରସାର କରିପାରିବା, ଯାହା ଗୌରଗୋବିନ୍ଦ ମହାରାଜଙ୍କର ଲକ୍ଷ୍ୟ ଥିଲା।
So, well, after a few days, I'll be leaving. I'm going to outside. I'm going to Switzerland for about 2 weeks. And after that, there is a conference in Delhi. I have to attend in December. And after that, I was planning to return in the month of January here in Odisha.
महाराज तांकर कार्यक्रम संबंधरे सूचना देउछन्ते जे आ अल्प किछि दिन परे से भारत बाहर को जिबे, स्विट्जरलैंड जिबे एवं सेठारो 2 सप्ताह परे दिल्ली आसीबे एक सम्मेलन रे योगदान करिवा पाई। तत्परे से पुनर्बार तांकर कार्यक्रम करी जनवरी रे एठाको आसीबे।
So, by the blessings of our Maharaj, our Govind Maharaj, and our Guru Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, and also by the blessings of Krishna Balaram, and Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, and Sister Gauranitai, all the Vaishnavas. So please remain healthy and happy and strong in your preaching work.
पूज्यपाद महाराज कहउछन्ते जे प्रभुपाद जी महाराज एवं गौर गोविंद महाराज तथा श्री श्री गौरनिताई, कृष्ण बलराम, जगन्नाथ बलभद्र सुभद्रा देवींकर आशीर्वादरु आपण माने सुस्थ सबल एवं सुखी रहंतु।
So, since we have next program that will end up here, I'm not taking the question this time.
जेहेतु हमर परवर्ती कार्यक्रम अछि, तेणु महाराज जी तांकर वक्तव्य एठारे समाप्त करछन्ति। समय र अभाव हेतु कौनसी प्रश्न उत्तर कार्यक्रम करा जाई पारुना।
जय गुरु महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, और गोविंद महाराज की जय, जय कृष्ण बलराम की जय, जय गौर प्रेमानंदे,
जय श्री श्रीमद भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर स्वामी महाराज की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद जी महाराज की जय, श्रील गुरुदेव की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे।